So question six is a pretty real world example about a credit card. And um, like I said, I've never really tried to attempt to verify my credit card balance. You'll kind of see why as we go through this example, because this only has a few purchases on a credit card, and I usually have purchases about every day. So here's our question. Here's our challenge. For the credit card account, assume 1 month billing dates. So what this means is, notice how our billing date starts on July 7th. That means our next billing date is going to be August 7th. That's what that's kind of saying. So it begins on July 7th and it ends on August 7th. So we also pick up on that there's an interest rate 1%, 1.6% per month. So they do give us a monthly interest rate. And this is going to be in our average daily balance. So the question is what's this average daily balance mean? So A says find the average daily balance. And then B is the finance charge, and C is the account balance for the next billing. So I'm going to try to unpack this slowly. One of the hardest things to understand about this problem is the days. How do we count the days? So notice that our billing date starts on July 7th, and then we make a payment on July 19th. So from July 7th to July 19th, my billing stays the same. So what we got to do is figure out how many days is that. Now, you can use a calendar, or there is a formula to count days. So to count days, what you need is the end date, subtract the start date, and add one, since we're including the start date. So if I want to look at this, if I want to find out how many days there are from July 7th to July 19th, what I can do is go 19 minus 7 and add 1 would be 13. So the balance stays the same for 13 days, if you will. But notice how on July 19th we made a payment. So starting on July 20th, our payment changes until we get up to July 29th, and then we make some more transactions. So we need to figure out how many days there are from July 19th to July 20th, 29th, because that's how long it took before we did anything else. So to find out how many days there are from July 19th to July 20th, we can subtract those. So the end date was 29 minus 20. That's going to give us then 19. If we add 1, that's going to give us then 10 days. So 10 days go by from July 20th to July 29th. But notice that on July 29th, a transaction happens again. So starting on July 30th, our balance changes. And nothing happens again until August 2nd. So notice how though we have a crossover, we go from July to August. So notice how July 30th, July 31st, that would be actually 2 days. And then August 1st to August 2nd would be 2 more days. So notice that from July 29th to August 2nd, notice how again we made that payment on the 29th. So that means our balance changes on July 30th, but from July 30th to August 2nd, that means our balance would stay the same for 4 days. Now, we don't have any more transactions after August 2nd, but note that our billing date goes all the way to August 7th. So we got to keep an account then. We still got to go from August 3rd to August 7th. So how many days have gone by? So again, you can go 7 minus 3, which is 4, the end date minus the start date. And if I add 1 to that, that tells me how many days have gone by, which would be 5. So 5 days there. So what I need to figure out is how many days are there in my billing cycle? So I can add 13 plus 10 in my head and get 26. And then, I'm sorry, 23. Try again. 13 plus 10 is 23. And then if I add 5 in this 4 would be 9. So 23 plus 9 would be then this 32. So notice that there are 32 days in the billing cycle. So that's one of the hardest things to do is figure out how many days are in the billing cycle. So that's going to be step one. I'll stop there.